making it super easy for your listeners to hear. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What was that like, kind of immersing yourself into going from kind of being uneasy and then going into this world of like acting and vocal lessons and theater?
I loved it. Like, it was such a different feeling,
Did you have any like prior experience?
Yeah, I started acting when I was younger, and I grew up with, like, I loved theater, and I've always, I think my first show, oh geez, I do remember it was either Christmas Carol or The Little Mermaid.
Okay, awesome.
And it was funny because you were telling me earlier how you really wanted to do Little Mermaid.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the last show before COVID. Yeah.
But yeah, like, and that group of people, it's so weird how, like, you're in a show for, I don't know, a couple months or whatever, but that instantly comes like your first and foremost family. Like, they're such like understanding people, and honestly probably the nicest people that I've ever met.
Honestly, you become family with these people because you're spending so much time with them. It's like right after school, you go to rehearsal, and you go from rehearsal from maybe like 3 to 8 or 9 at night, and then the last month of the show you're there till 11 or 12 getting everything ready, and it's fun. It is just so much fun. No, I completely relate to that. And what was it, how did it help you? Like, what's your biggest like takeaway from that?
I actually have a couple. Well, always, first and foremost, that show night, you will instantly know what I'm getting to with this, but that first show night, that is your immediate high. That is the best feeling and the most adrenaline rush you will ever feel.
Once you take places, there's nothing like it.
Like, when it starts, that is exactly what my high felt like. Like, it was such a rush and it was great.
Yeah.
And I was matching that with acting. Like, everything that I was doing to myself, when I was in a really negative place, like, I was doing that with acting, and it was the same feeling. And it was what drove me to become a better version of myself.
That's amazing. What are some shows that you have done? What's like your top 3 shows that you've been in, and then top 3 that you want to be in?
I've done Legally Blonde. That was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was Warner.
That's so cool.
I got to do The Outsiders. We had a full like knife fight. We had Rumble, which was really, really cool, that we actually got to choreograph with stage combat artists. And
That's
then
so cool.
Dude, it was insane, man. Like, the amount of like work. So it was like one of those shows that's like a week long that you put together.
Yeah.
But it was a full production. Like, it was crazy.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So we got to do a 3-minute Rumble, which was really cool. Got to have a straight week of just choreography for fighting.
Of like learning how to use everything and be safe with it. Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah. And then I've also done, obviously, Little Mermaid. That show is super, it's just iconic. Like, I loved it.
Yeah, it's a classic.
I truthfully really want to do Devin Hansen. I would love to be in that show. That was also one of the things that like really made me like overcome my darkness, was that show, because that whole message of Dear Evan Hansen is feeling less alone, and
you're not alone is what it says.
Yeah.
And you will be found. Like, for those of you that don't know, it says you are not alone in the chorus. I believe it's the chorus of the song. It says that you're not alone. And on it, I completely relate to that. That is one of the first cast recordings that I've listened to. As of late, like, that's something that I love to turn to when I'm feeling down, or I need something to pick me up. I go right to Dear Evan Hansen. It's an amazing show.
Right. And I have the same effect with Waitress and You'll Be She Used to Be Mine. That is also such a good song for when you're like upset or stressed out, because you're going back to who you were and you're finding the best version of yourself.
Yeah. One of my favorites is Wicked. If you
Oh,
just
okay.
if you listen to Elphaba and what she's singing, and it's her separating from this negative dark place in her life and her figuring it out on her own.
Yeah, Defying Gravity is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing. So we talked about like how you grew up, how you got
Right,
through
right.
that. Where are you at now? What does today Skyler look like?
You know, it's so much different. Like I focused my time, and for a really long time I wanted to become a therapist and just give back to those who need it, and really be there for people and provide a space where they can just openly talk and not feel judged for what they have to say. Currently I have a good TikTok following where I try to produce content to make people feel better and just give them a space to relax. I want them to feel like they can take on the world.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So yeah, I mean, I love it.
How did you
I
get into TikTok?
um, I have a bunch of friends who like are creators and love to mostly acting actually.
Yeah.
Uh, that's how I kind of started. Was I focused my energy on things that I like really liked. So Disney. I have a Disney podcast that I do every week where I just talk about different things that I am super passionate about. And so many people like relate to Star Wars or Disney or Marvel because
Yeah.
it's like their release. So I made that just for people who are into that kind of thing.
It's an amazing
But
like
yeah,
escapism that you can
right.
go and just watch this and kind of forget about what's going on in the world around you and focus on these characters and this awesome story that you're given by Disney.
It's beautiful
It
the
really
amount
is.
of work that they put in to make people feel, I don't want to say better, but like that they are like shown in a different light and given an amazing story that people can interpret and bring into their lives, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is amazing. So what's the biggest thing that you've learned from starting into TikTok, starting your podcast, and where you're at now?
I think honestly, like determination. When you're forced to get out of this negative headspace, it really makes you focus on what you want in your life and those who will bring out the most around you, so it can make you the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And honestly, just make sure that you have a good support system. The best support system that you have can really take you a very far way.
What does that
you
look like
know
for you today?
I honestly have a great group of friends in California. A really good team where I can just go to anyone and just talk about what I'm feeling when I'm upset or when I need more help. I started in a place where I didn't feel like I could talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I felt very uh self-isolated and in a state where I couldn't express myself in the ways
Yeah.
I wanted to. But now it's like I can just call up anyone and instantly I just feel so much better. Which
It's easy for you to go to them, which is amazing. It's
yeah.
hard. It's not easy to find.
Oh no.
It's not easy to find, but once you have that, there's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
And those people care, and that's awesome. I'm so glad that you have that.
Yeah, for sure. And the same goes for you, man. When you reached out to me, I was so thankful that you did. You know, I when I found you, I immediately wanted to give you everything that I could, and I wanted to help out in any way I could because I knew you were going to go far.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. When you were like texting me, you're like, "Well, what can I do? What do you need
Yeah,
from me?" Like that kind of stuff. Like that has been so helpful, and I appreciate that. And my whole goal with this podcast is this being like the first episode. This is going to be something that like this is going to be a place for people to come tell their story, what they've gone through, and how they got to where they're at today.
that
And
is so beautiful, and that shows so much about who you are as a person. And you're
thank you.
honestly, congrats with this. This is amazing.
Thank you so much. Honestly, like my main goal is to help someone out there, because we are all going through something right now. It's 2021. We're living in a pandemic, and minus the pandemic, people are going through whatever they're going through, their struggles. And if they could turn on this 30-minute podcast to kind of escape and hear someone's story and take something away from that, that is my goal, is to try to help someone. And I want to thank you, Skyler, for being my first guest on the Art of Messing Up podcast. Just plug your stuff real quick, where we can find you. Where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Skyler Gifford, Skyler SKYLER_Gifford, GIFFORD, as well as TikTok. It's the same. And then I also have a podcast as well called Dream a Fantastic Dream, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, where we just, go into all about the Disney parks, Disney World, Disneyland, the attractions, the movies, anything and everything.
That is so cool. Well, thank you, Skyler. It has been awesome having you.
Of course.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. This has been an episode of the Art of Messing Up podcast. My name is Kyle. We will see you next time. Bye.